Oh shoot, it's loud too.
This is the follow-up from the Puerto Rico session.
Don't ask me any LDS questions. I don't have the answers to that.
All right, Matt, it's good to see you down here in Hawaii.
Always a pleasure to see you.
So you're hanging out. I mean, I wasn't going to ask you any LDS questions, but since you raised it,
You can't. I don't know them.
I mean, you're hanging out with it. You work with a lot of LDS guys now.
Yes.
A lot.
A lot.
Is it like majority LDS?
Even the new partners that we have, it's funny because at Killingsworth, I was telling Alan this last week, at Killingsworth, the rise of the door-to-door had not come to the industry just yet. And Dad used to say all the time, those Mormon companies out there in the West.
Damn Mormons coming in.
Mormons stealing all the business, blah, blah, blah.
Have you been...
Now I feel like everybody I know is LDS. That's the truth.
Have you been enticed to join the club? Like, do you think about it? Is it like...
No.
I guess you're not shopping?
I think in terms of a faith conversation, we're kind of like cousins. And
Yeah.
so they may not see a need to proselytize me.
I mean, do they want to... I mean, they do a lot of missions, so do they want to bring you into the club? Or
I don't think so.
No.
I think
Just
they
like,
see
so
my
we're better without some
my
people?
tattoos and my tequila, and they're like, not that guy.
Okay. So, you've been at Lizard now for what, about a year and a half, is that right?
It will be 2 years this May.
Damn.
It's about a year and a half.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. And everyone knows Mike and Debbie Rogers. Anyone that
Everybody
listens to
knows.
The Buzz does for sure.
Yeah.
Would you classify Mike Rogers as a true redneck?
I love you, Dad. I mean, he is from Canton, North Carolina. And if you've ever been to Canton, North Carolina, you would be like, yeah, the answer to that question is probably yeah.
But I feel like he actually went to Redneck Mecca, though. He moved from North Carolina and then
Yeah.
went to the Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, yes.
So, like, it wasn't enough. Canton wasn't good enough for him.
No. The thing about it is, though, there are levels, right? There's like Lumberton, and then there's like Southern Gentleman. And Dad is, I feel like, just below the Southern
you're right.
Gentleman. He is.
He's a sweetheart of a guy.
He is. He's still yes, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am, no, sir. Hold the door for
He's
people.
very, very
chivalrous.
Yes, very
he's not.
much so.
He's not double wide.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
So there's levels inside of there, for sure.
You know, I never thought about it that way, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Now,
It's important to classify your rednecks.
you and your brother got a redneck grading scale.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother, though, takes more after your father than you do, I would say, right?
It's so messed up, Paul. Definitely in temperament and nurture, my brother takes a lot after my father.
I
He
feel like
looks a lot like not my father.
No, he doesn't. But I feel like he was like kind of the favored son growing
He is the favorite son, if he's watching. He's the favorite.
Yes.
I was not the favorite. I'd tell that Dad to his face right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I could see that because, you know, I see your father going to racing with them and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff
Yeah.
while you
Can
were
you
off
flip
to-
people off in Potomac?
You can.
I just
Yes.
did that.
Yes.
I just flipped somebody off.
That's
Okay.
That's kosher on our. You can do
All
whatever
right.
you want, especially when it's brothers.
Yeah.
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 Sisters, yeah, you can do that too. But
Mhm.
but you don't have any sisters, so okay.
I do. I have a half sister.
Really?
Yeah, on my mom's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The Mexican would say, "Is she hot?"
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
I don't want him to get any ideas.
If she wasn't, you would have said
It
no.
doesn't even matter. To the Mexican, I'm not even sure it matters at some levels of sobriety.
What's your age difference between the two of you?
My sister just turned 33, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mexican.
No, you stay over there.
Mexican's 33.
Oh, there you go. Still, that's a hard no. I don't want to be related to that guy at all.
The Rogers amazing. No.
Fucking amazing homeschool. Yep.
That kicked off when?
Bro, it is going. My kid's lowest GPA right now is 3.85, right? That's my most underperforming student.
Oh.
I won't say which one because I don't have favorites, but that's my most underperforming student. They're done every day by like 10 o'clock. They are reading for leisure for an hour a day,
Oh, wow.
every day. They're doing their chores. There's no screens through the week. It's bliss. We just had them here. We brought them here with the Drapers for a week before Pest World.
Okay.
And the first Rogers Fucking Amazing Homeschool field trip was to Pearl Harbor. So they did like research.
So that's a school sanctioned research.
The principal has spoken.
Yeah.
We're going to Pearl Harbor.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And
How long were
so-
they out here?
They were here for a week. We were up on the North Shore for a week. And it was like quintessential perfect Hawaii. It was perfect.
Now, will they get graded on their performance?
I had a little bit too much rum to grade things accurately, I feel like.
So your wife will be grading you on your performance.
On the performance of the principal of the Rogers effing amazing homeschool, yeah.
How many children are in that school?
There's 3. And I have people like, can my kid come to Rogers effing amazing homeschool? And I'm like, no.
You should turn it into a business.
No, I turn it down. I got too many businesses going at this particular moment, and I'm tired.
I mean, how much of this is on the back of Katie versus you?
It's 50-50.
Oh, really?
It's 50-50.
Really?
She's much more in the, so I'm the setup at the beginning of the day, feed everybody. I'm lunch lady in the morning, right? So I get the coffee pot going, feed all of the kids, go through the agendas for the day. I do sometimes, if I'm feeling like it.
Okay.
I'll go through the agenda for the day and make sure everybody's got their heads on straight. And then I go do my meetings with my staff. And then I come spot check through the day. And Katie's kind of during the day just making sure they're doing whatever. And then I wrap up the end of the day, make sure they did all their stuff. This is both.
Do you have to ask, I mean, are you teaching lessons like a teacher would? You sit down and say, hey, I'm going to give you a history lesson?
No. Pandemic has kind of set us up for success. Everything's online now.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we just kind of plug them in and get the party started.
Now, clearly the quality of education and experience is quite high at the Rogers fucking amazing homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
I think always the concern with homeschooling is the the lack of
social
interaction.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how you deal with that.
How do you make sure your kids are not
they don't
social lepers?
Be like 20-year-old,
wearing their socks or tight rolling their jeans, or can ask a girl functionally out on a date. We got to do
basically all of your style and substance just transferred to them.
We've got to do it becomes incumbent on us, I feel like, to then make sure that social interaction is a priority for all of them. So we got to do the sleepovers, we got to do the youth groups, we got to do the field trips, we got to do the, it's our job now to make sure that they're social. So it's just kind of a extra little hassle, but it's better than trying to figure out what the hell the school's teaching your kid. I'll take it any day.
I found I may, and I really didn't want to say this to you in person, but I may have found a homeschool that's more fucking amazing than Rogers' amazing fucking homeschool.
Names.
Yesterday.
Names. I need
John
names.
Speed.
John Speed. Does he homeschool his kids?
3 kids. And he took them on a round-the-world homeschooling trip for a year. Whilst running his business remotely.
Lizard's not that successful
How amazing.
Yet. We had an amazing year since POTOMAC, but we're not that successful yet. I'm not at John Speed success yet.
Okay.
One of these days, Principal Rogers will snatch said children and take them on an excursion.
Would you do that, though? Would you do
100%.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even hesitate.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I hated to say this to you. When I was
respect
there with
that.
John yesterday, I was listening to it, I'm like,
he's so
Rogers
down to
School
earth.
really is amazing.
Yeah.
This is more amazing.
He's so cool and down to earth.
He is.
In fact, it's unassuming. He started talking to me, and I hadn't even put together that that's who he was.
Yeah.
And then he told me, and I was like, I didn't know he homeschooled, though.
He flies under the
he
radar.
seems like more of a G.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's one of the elder statesmen in the industry. He's
Frustrating.
super chill guy. He's actually, he's
It's
great.
frustrating to be so successful and so cool.
That's the thing, man. He's been able to pull it off. He's not like this hyper, like,
Yeah. There's so much of that in this industry.
There is.
I
In
hope
every
you're listening.
So, tell me, we talked a little about homeschooling.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Lizard, but I don't want to focus too much on it. So,
Yeah.
what have you guys done? Give me the rundown. Since you were down in PR, when were you in
Quick
PR?
and dirty.
You were there in...
We were May-ish? Yeah, it was this year.
Really?
May or April-ish.
Yeah.
Things blew up. Things blew up after we got back. We've been holding on for dear life. Like seatbelts, spot checking because we're decentralized. So I got my developer, he's 8 hours ahead of me. Hey, Usama, you doing okay since we blew up, right? We're up like 1,000% or something like that.
Did anyone watch your Puerto Rico video?
They did. Yes, they did. we get calls still about the Puerto Rico.
Really?
News. And I still get questions about Rogers' fucking amazing homeschool.
I bet you do.
All the time.
Now we've answered. I'm glad we've done this follow-up.
Yes. So things have blown up. We've retooled, especially since the team has been here, and sat down and had like real serious conversations. Okay, if we are going to continue to scale at this pace, what do we need? What does it look like? How do we plan and prep for 2024? So that was an incredible experience for us, and it has been a roller coaster ever since, or a rocket ship. I feel like rocket ship is a better adjective or a better metaphor for what this year has been like, for sure.
have you added on any additional services since you were down in PR, or no? You
Yes.
Just, oh, you. Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
We're focusing on inbound and branding. So many pest control companies get started, and they don't have a clear vision of who they are, or how they want to present themselves to their market, what differentiates them from the market. So we're offering branding support for companies that are just getting started, that don't know how to express that part of themselves. They don't have, I mean, you know. And then we're also offering executive support for. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can keep talking.
We're also offering like executive support for meetings. This sounds super douchey. I'm not trying to sound like that. Okay. I'll meet with, if people don't have a CMO or a VP of marketing or whatever internally, they don't have a plan, I'll meet with our partners and help them prep out their next year. We're doing that a lot right now, actually, as people are getting ready for 2024.
And what does that mean, though? So what do you mean when you say you'll help them prep out for this?
So, I mean, it's at Killingsworth and definitely anticimex. October was a huge month to be like, okay, this is where we should close the year. This is how to prepare for the next year, right? And so a lot of companies are thinking like that. They're still thinking month to month, week to week even sometimes. And so to help them zoom out, to make a strategy, to develop the benchmarks and the KPIs, to be like, okay, we've made it through the first quarter. What should we expect to see? What should we expect to see in the second, third? And how do we close out next year? How do we make a budget, right? I'm leveraging some of my experience to do that for some of our partners, and that's been really valuable for some of our partners. Some of our partners, especially our new partners, especially partners that come from Potomac, they already have a lot of these things in place, and that's fantastic. But the partners that come from Bugbucks, shout out Bugbucks, they're still in the laundry room. I call it the laundry room phase for Mike and Debbie Rogers, right? Where Debbie's holding the dryer open to heat the room in the winters, right? They're still there, and that's awesome. And so they need a little extra TLC, and so we've been giving them that.
Is that interfering?
It's not going to bother the end product if it's going to bother you.
Doesn't bother me. So yeah, we're doing what we can.
That's great. What we're here now, almost in November. What are your plans here at the end of the year? Business, non-business? Are you going anywhere? We're taking
done
off for
so
Christmas?
I can't wait to get home. I'm supposed to head back to Ethiopia. I work with an NGO. Same NGO, same thing. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yes. I went the week after.
Yes, that's right.
I'm heading there the beginning of November again for the nonprofit that I work with. They're getting a new COO, so we're interviewing the COO, and that's gonna be awesome. But things are complicated right now.
Security risks. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure that out.
When were you supposed to go?
Looking for chill. November 4.
Oh.
Yeah. But the Department of Security, like yesterday, posted, hey, if you're American and you're international, flags.
Yeah.
So it's complicated.
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out. I'm honestly, especially after last week and this week, my family went home on Monday. I'm just ready to get home, see my family, and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to try to keep it chill for the end of the year.
So do you think you're going to cancel the Ethiopia trip?
I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting and watching, right? Things seem really tenuous everywhere right now, and kind of everybody's trying to figure out where they fall, right?
Yeah.
Or if they need to. And so I'm just trying to be respectful and be mindful, because the last thing I'm going to do, especially right now, is put myself in any kind of situation at the adverse cost of my family. So just being mindful.
Yeah. What's the busiest time for you business-wise?
Bro, I thought that the fourth quarter was gonna like turn it down, but with Pest World, but also with partners that are gearing up, that had a successful 2022 and are cranking it up to 11 for 2023, it's actually been busy now. So I feel like in the summers, we are all holding on for dear life and just making sure we're getting these leads to our partners. And then now in the planning phases, people are working on their websites, people are working on their game plans, and we're still just as busy. I don't know if we'll have an off season. I don't know.
That's great.
I'm hopeful that we can get a break in here somewhere. But last week was quite the break. I was truly able to disconnect. You've been to the North Shore.
Yeah, I was in Kilauea. That's where John's place is. I don't know where that is.
North Shore, so all you got to do is get out of here, go left or right until you get up to this like historic town at the top of the island, and everywhere you turn is like perfect to white, like postcard beach that nobody's on. It was beautiful. Sea turtles, surfers, food trucks. It was great.
Did you surf?
No, man, I have no balance.
I don't either.
I don't. I wouldn't look cool. I would look like a dad trying to surf and be cool, but I wouldn't be.
So outside of travel,
Yep.
Lizard,
Yep.
your homeschool,
Yeah.
what else are you up to?
Oh, bro. I can't. I don't. We just launched. I guess I can say this. I told you briefly. I have been moonlighting to help a company get started with the chief marketing officer that's doing its best. It's a bunch of doctors that have all gotten together to kind of bypass health insurance. It's fascinating. Our health costs in the United States are somewhere like 60 to 70% inflated where they should be.
Yeah.
And so they just launched. They launched while I was here, and so I have actually a very busy week when I get back. But that's the other hustle.
And what are you doing for them?
I am. They've got a strong marketing strategy that I've built out for them that's going to scale with their subscribers. Basically, I'm trying to use different marketing channels to talk to businesses that might use them as a healthcare alternative for their employees, to doctors that would use them for their practices, because the doctors get paid the same day, which is they're mostly having to file and wait like 30 to 60 days, or to individuals like any of my staff members who might use something like this. So I've got a marketing strategy to kind of hit all these places, and I'm going to get these things in place and help them out.
Speaking of marketing strategy, we had Phil Taylor, the Australian guy. Did you meet him?
No.
He's from Australia. We interviewed.
Oh, yeah. Last night.
Yes. He said that he listens to The Buzz, and he listened to your father and Debbie talk.
He told me to talk like him last night.
He asked-
He's like, I don't believe he's your dad. Can you talk like him? I can't speak Australian.
Go ahead and try it. But could you speak Mike Rogers?
Like Mike Rogers. Hell yes, I can speak like Mike Rogers. And then he's like,
Okay. I heard him try to do it, too.
Yeah, it was
but
bad.
It was really bad. You couldn't even get him to do the American accent.
Yeah, like a Brit speaking like a Southerner is
Yeah,
not a
it's
recipe
not a
for
good mix.
success.
But he's into this whole, like, using real estate as a billboard. You know,
Yeah.
Your father.
Oh, yeah.
you know.
I talked to so many companies here about that this week that are trying to figure out how to expand their reach and what to do. The move this was Dad's move, and it was brilliant. It was even after he sold it to anticimex. He and Debbie would buy the building and then rent it back through the company from them. So they're just paying themselves, growing their portfolios of wealth, and then they had this building at a central location that they let it up and let everybody know that they were open for business. And it matters to Google. It matters to your Google My Business page. It matters to the keywords on your website. It matters. So I highly recommend. I think he's doing good on him for making that move. It's a big deal. How invested is he in that? Has he like made a lot of real estate, or is he just getting started?
No, I think he just. I mean, the company's relatively small.
Yeah.
I think he. I don't. On the interview yesterday, he mentioned I think maybe 2 facilities now, but
Smart.
You know, it's all about testing it, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know?
Dad had 10 in one market. Everybody thinks Killingsworth was everywhere. There was 10 offices, one market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, Scott McNeely did the same thing.
Yeah.
He had like 10 offices. I see
It's a
that
move.
a lot in the South.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. You know, everyone up in New York has one service center. Like I was talking about, Jim McHale had $26 million in revenue out of one office.
Yeah.
With like no sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
for
South
sure.
is different. They want to do business with people that they see, and they can go over there. And
We're spread out too, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go to the north, you've got
Right.
condensed areas of concentrated population, right?
It's true.
You come down to the south. I think the funniest thing about Charlotte in particular is everybody. It's a vehicle. Everybody's got a vehicle.
Yep.
It's not a place for public transportation.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And it takes 20-30 minutes to get anywhere.
That's true.
So it just kind of depends, I guess, on where you're at. But you're probably right. In the north, I don't think that would be as advantageous.
What's one thing you discovered this year that can help folks out when they're thinking about marketing their businesses?
Everybody, all of your pest control companies that are listening, we all just came through the pandemic and it spiked everybody's metrics, right? I think if our industry, everybody, no matter what they're doing, from a marketing perspective, from a budgeting perspective, from a chemical cost, gas cost, whatever, they can use this year as a new level set of how to expect the last year and stop comparing this year to the year behind us. Because the metrics for the year behind us are inflated. big inflation, right? Now I think things are coming back to normal, and people can start to make more realistic plans. I think some of the things that happened post-pandemic were people made aggressive plans based on inflated numbers, right? And so my encouragement to everybody in this industry would be, use this year, don't see it as a loss, see this as the new normal, right? And use it to make much more informed and concise decisions about what your 2024 is going to look like. Because these are truer numbers than what we experience. Enjoy it, right? Like Dad would always say, 2008 was his best year, which was the housing crisis.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a very resilient industry, which is awesome. But you've got these peaks of performance that often have to do with things that are going on in the market, and now that those things are behind us,
Yep.
Use these new numbers to kind of get back to normal.
So do you think the cost of online marketing is going to go down? Am I understanding you
I
or no?
I think it's going to go down slowly, because I think players are still dumping money into. I can see it, most of the PCOs that we talk to tell us LSA is not working for them anymore. And so I think people are still dumping money in and seeing a diminishing return.
Yeah.
And so what I think is going to happen is slowly the investments in those places are going to start to happen as things start to kind of even out.
I see.
Right. And so I think it'll give everybody better optics and better predictability for next year. It definitely gives us as a digital marketing company a better understanding of like, this is how you can manage your expectations for next year that's much more realistic than you've had this past year. Right?
Matt, if somebody out there wants to track you down, how should they find you?
Yeah, lizardmarketing.co. That's it.
Awesome. I
Hit me
know
up.
you didn't even know you were on the docket today.
I didn't.
We just popped
Thank
on
you.
stage. It's always great
Thank you.
talking to you, brother.
Always. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah.